That's what that ADHD kind of kicking in.
If I'm not 5 minutes early, I'm messed up, man. Like I'm like, oh my god,
you were 5 minutes early.
I was 5 minutes early, and I was so concerned. I was like rushing down the highway. I was like, oh man, like if I don't get there, I'm gonna mess this up. Like
I think I'm a little more like Mike.
Yeah,
I'm a little more chilled, laid back. To be honest with you, I was taking a nap when you called, and I was like, damn, I gotta start getting stuff ready. I gotta start turning the lights on, doing this, and then you text me, and I'm like, crap, I need to get up. Oh. And so I did. I got up, and then you caught me as soon as I turned the lights on. Dog, literally, the only thing I did was turn the lights on.
I was asleep most of the day.
You were?
Yeah, last night was terrible.
You hung over for last night? I know a couple people that are.
If I stay out past 2, it's a guaranteed I'm tired the next day. Like I can get up and move just fine. If
it's
I
not
get
so much
home by
the drinking;
2,
it's just staying out that late.
It's just too long for me. I'm getting old.
Yeah,
for sure. I'm for sure getting old at this point.
It's funny because last weekend I went out and I didn't go to bed till like 4:00 in the morning, and I'm not drinking. I'm sober right now. But I woke up the next day maybe around 9:30, in and out of sleep maybe till 10, and I felt hungover. I was exhausted the next day. I was like dragging ass, doing everything. I was in kind of like a haze, like when you smoke too much, and then the next day you just feel like you're in a haze.
Fogged?
Yeah, just brain fog. I felt like that, and I was like, damn, I didn't even drink. I didn't even do anything. It was just lack of sleep.
It's the exertion of too much energy too late at night. So there's a saying I've heard. There's a saying I've heard that I love. That's like, and I love it, but I disregard it every night that I go out. But it's every time you go out, you're borrowing happiness from the day after, from the next day. And it's like, that's so true. Because like I sit there and I go, why did I do that?
You're taking a loan out.
Yeah, it's like you're taking a loan out. Tomorrow you're going to be miserable for what you did today. But if you want to buy that loan, if you want to take that loan out, you can.
Take a loan of happiness from the next day.
Exactly. Like, every Thursday, I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm going to have a great weekend. And then, hey, let's go out. Okay, let's go out.
Yeah, man. I start drinking in 2 weeks. I'm going to Costa Rica in 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
And I'm going to start drinking then.
What's your first drink? What's the first drink?
Man, it's Costa Rica. Like, what I really want as a first drink is either an old-fashioned or a dirty martini. But I don't know about now.
You're going to get a straight swallow of rum and
go. I don't know if I trust them making whatever out there. Dude, I'll probably get whatever tropical drink that they do out there for the guests or for the tourists.
What part of Costa Rica?
If we're flying into San Juan, then we go to Emmanuel Antonio Park or something like this. It's where they have all the animals running around in the beaches, and we're staying there for 3 days. And then we go to La Fortuna, which is the volcano where they have like the hot springs and the hiking and stuff like that. So we're there for 7 days. 8 days, 7 nights. It's quite a bit.
I mean, that's great, actually, though. That's the escape you need at this point.
And then I come back the 31st. My plane lands at 7. And I got to find something to do for New Year's.
So 30, I don't know if I'm here, if I'm going to Atlanta, but the 30th is my birthday.
Shit.
Yeah, I'm turning 32, and I literally, everybody keeps asking me, what do I want to do? What do I want to do? And I'm sitting there like, I want to be left the hell alone. Like, that's it. I don't want.
Welcome to your 30s, man.
I don't want a work call. I don't want a phone call. If you want to say happy birthday, say it in a text. Like, just.
You don't like doing stuff for your birthday? Like,
my birthday
throwing a party or some shit?
Everybody's. Okay, I'm going to say this, and then you're going to tell me your response, okay?
Okay.
And I guarantee you I could write your response down right now. My birthday is the worst birthday of the year.
Okay.
True or not true?
Because of where it is, December 30th? Yeah, like everyone's prioritizing Christmas, so they're probably out with family.
Everybody always says, well, Christmas is worse. If you had the 25th, people be celebrating. No, my birthday's the worst because you just came off the hangover of Christmas. And it's not like, oh, next day.
And you got to get ready for...
Yeah, it's almost a whole
No one's
going to
go out and drink.
Nobody's going to go out and drink.
Because they want to save it for the next day.
Every time. So I get like, if I'm lucky, I get a dinner, a couple of drinks, and people are like, let's go to the movies. And I'm like,
I mean, you can always be like, let's celebrate it for New Year's. It's like one day. You just be like, this is New Year's and my birthday. But now you got to share it with something else, you know?
This sounds weird, but like, I know birthdays are a celebration of like the year that you've grown into and the next year that you go. But to me, it's like, you didn't do any work. Like, your birthday
Bro,
should be
you
celebrating your mom.
survived.
It's Mom's Day 2.0. Like, she did the work to get you here. Like, you didn't do anything. You just managed to not get in a car crash between now and then. Like, that's it.
Oh man, moms are gonna love that. You should put that in a card.
That's it. Like, literally, like, thanks, Mom. You did it all. I mean, I just haven't screwed it up yet.
I'm still alive at 31.
Made it one more one.
Damn.
No.
Actually, this reminds me of the conversation we had when you said when we were talking about moms.
Yeah.
So I wanted to talk about this on the podcast specifically.
Okay.
So this was the 7 types of women.
Yeah. So I'm gonna preface this as like, I'm a terrible person. I'm gonna say that because like, if you don't know me and you're watching this podcast, you don't understand. I'm a terrible person. If you do know me in this podcast, then you're gonna learn something that you're gonna go, he's either full of shit, or oh, he's not a shallow piece of shit. One of the other. Like, that's
It's gonna be one of these two extremes.
It's one of these two extremes. So like, I'm a very one of those people. I call it like shower thinking.
Okay.
I will literally like sit in a car, in the shower, in like at home, and just be like monologuing to myself, like thoughts, because again, a little bit of ADHD here. Like, if I'm not at least talking somehow in my head to myself, there's too many things running.
Too many things going on in your head.
Exactly.
Okay.
And this kind of came up actually in college, where I was like 22-ish, 23. And like, as a and this is a total guy's perspective, you know, I could be totally wrong with girls, but like, this is my side of it, is like, we as men, like, we experience growing up more through the women in our lives than we do anything else. Like, if you look at any other instance in your life, there are moments and memories and things that happen that turn you into who you are, but the women do it more for us than anything else. Like, we are shaped by these beautiful, terrible creatures in the world. Like, 100%.
Yeah, I would agree with you, because there's so many things that, like, what motivates men to do anything? And if you think about it, it's like, why do you want money? I mean, of course you want material things, maybe, but mostly it's like to take care of a family, or to impress a girl, or to gain status, to gain more attention from girls. You know, like,
it's a protection plan.
You can always kind of tie something back to a woman. Not always, but you know,
there's a lingering like energy that always goes back to that. And so one of the thoughts I had when I was in college, and I've kept repurposing, and I was sharing it with you the other day, was there are 7 women that make up the man that you become throughout life. And so to kind of break it down, the 7, the first one is your mom. So every man, whether you have a mom or you didn't have a mom, there's this gap in your life at the very beginning of it, the very front stage, where like, you are just this ball of energy and thing out there. And your mom is the direct, most important thing to like shape you early, because she has the ultimate amount of love to like give to you. Like, all of her energy, all of what she is as a person is basically just love and compassion and care and worry for you. And as a kid, you don't understand that at all. And as you grow older, you learn it, but you still will never understand the full lengths and values that a mother will go to. Like, my mom right now, sick as hell at home, taking care of my dad, who's sick too. She's still calling me trying to ask how my day is. I'm like, you got other priorities. But that's where her priorities live, is like the ultimate love and care of like this person. And so we take that for granted as men very hard. And no matter how much you try to, you will always come up short to what your mother will provide you. Yeah. So you get that early on, and you know, you may not, and that becomes part of the systematic problem of you growing up too, possibly, or that kind of lack of loss of it. The second one is your sisters. So, and I say sisters because you can have more than one, but or you can have like, essentially it's not a blood related thing. It's more of a
platonic female in your life.
Yes. Okay. You find the need to protect this person of a different like sex that like you don't want anything from, you're not trying to like do anything with, you just want to protect them. You know that the world seems to be ugly, or things are there and you don't want to see them get hurt. And the problem with that is like, they're good with that until it gets in the way of what they want. And then they will put you aside and correct you and say, hey, no, that's not your place and all that. And you'll look at it and go, well, I'm trying to protect, I'm trying to be good, I'm trying to do something here. And you kind of get that sense in reality of like, your protection only goes so far. Your want and care only goes so far.
As it should?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Like you can control what you can control. And at the end of the day, you're trying to control and the environment to make sure that someone doesn't get hurt.
Yeah.
But the environment's always going to hurt them.
So it's more being like a protector, like father figure.
Yes. It's your first round of protection. It's your first like learning of how to protect. Okay. And the goods and the bads and the shortcomings of that.
And maybe they teach you like what's okay and what's too far.
100%. Yeah, exactly. That's it. Like you will overstep with them at some point. And it's good because like you need that correction to start going, okay, this is what I know I can help with. This is what I can't help with. This is the things that I, that I have that ability to help.
Do you think sometimes the reason why you want to protect that person is because yes, you love them as a friend, but maybe deep down inside there might be more romantic feelings? I'm just saying this.
That's the thing is like the third one becomes the romantic one. Okay. That's where it comes in. So this one is literally like, I call it sister because like if you have a sister, you understand like there's nothing there. Yeah. You're just, for some reason, you're connected at the hip with this person trying to do good by them.
So obviously a biological sister, no one's going to be romantically attached.
Exactly. And you do have that, like even if you don't have a sister biologically, every guy can pinpoint a girl that he was not attracted to, but still cares for. Yeah.
Okay, I believe that's possible. There's actually some people out there that believe that's not possible.
When you're our age, when you get older, into the hormone phases of your life, it's a lot harder. But like early on, you're gonna meet somebody like that. Early on in your phase is like, and that's the biological sister part of it. That's super easy for some of us. Is like, we got that from the moment we started. Gotcha. Some of us found that in grade school. Some of us found that in, and so that's kind of that first, again, lingering part of trying to learn how to protect the world and things you care about inside of it. Then you go to the romantic one, which is your first like love. Okay. And ultimately your first heartbreak. Like every guy knows this one. Like there's not a shadow of a doubt that this one's there for every guy.
And it's usually like high school, right?
Yeah, it's high school. Middle school's maybe, but like high school, that's when it hits really.
I mean, you're an early bloomer if you got it in middle school.
Well, I mean, just like the love, the romantic side, like kind of thing, like that want, that love, that care, that you don't have any understanding what this is and how to deal with it. But it's all these emotions just coming out. You're kind of
obsessed.
Yeah, you're obsessed. You'll go beyond measures that you ever thought you would for anybody just to make this person smile, just to make this person happy, just to like hold their hands, kiss them, like be with them, get as close as you can be with them and realize like at the end of the day, no matter how much you did for them, no matter how much you cared, no matter how much you loved, you were going to come up short. And there's the 1%ers or less than 1%ers that, find someone and grow up with them and marry them. 99.9% of us are not that.
Yeah, most of us.
And it crushes men. It crushes you because you have this like angel in your life, this like thing that's greater than you. And all you want to do is make it happy and it breaks you. And that's where like the villain story comes in, like this is the beginning. This is where you go and take it out terrible and all. Yeah,
all the rest of the women.
Exactly, you take it out on everyone, and that's four is like the physical women. And so like the physical women are. I'm so sorry for the ones that hear this, and I have done this too. But like, so sorry. But like, it happened in college where I said, fuck them. Like, no, like you're nothing. Like you're not, I'm not going to ever let you get this close to me again and do that to me.
Yeah. And would you say, and I think everyone's gone through this and I'll apologize too. I've gone through things like this before where you actually have, and I've known other people close to me who have done this as well, they're so hurt that they want to actually go out there and take it out on other women almost maliciously.
I never got to that point. I know there's people out there that do that. I never got to that point. Mine was more like
all they want to do is just smash, 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 smash.
Mine was more how to build a wall up and not care about you. How to build a wall and not care.
So you just put a guard up.
Well, all these girls would come into my life trying to like make that better, and I'd go, no, I'm not. I can go so far, and then no, like, no, thank you. I don't want that. I don't want to be a part of that. I want to get out of this. I'm running, and I would hurt them doing that. Never being able to open that all the way up.
Would you say you ever led them on? Like, did you make it seem like?
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Hell yeah. I'm doing my best here to not sound like the worst person that I am, but I said it again.
It's okay.
I am a terrible person.
We can be honest about things, but we're, as long as we've changed now. Obviously, I don't do these things now.
So that's the whole point of the physical women is like, you went from this one person who you put on such a high pedestal, who it was everything, like you said, obsessed about. And the best, like the thing that the kind of physical women teach you that matters so much to a guy is like, women are people. Like men are people, women are people. We are all on the same ground of none of us know what we're doing. Like we are just trying to learn this ourselves too. And you get to realize like these beings you're putting on a pedestal, they're not. They're on the same level ground with you, just trying to figure it out. And it's okay that you're not the one for them, just like it should be okay that they're not the one for you. And so you kind of start rotating through life, realizing like you're going to hurt people and people are going to hurt you. And the goal is to try not to do that as much. But these are the women that unfortunately have to take the burden of the hurt for you to learn the lesson.
I would suspect that this type of woman number 4, is pretty common nowadays, just because it seems like in modern times it's dating in general is hard, like it's hard to find that match, that good match, like either someone likes someone else more than the other one does in the relationship, or one's just not attracted to the other, but the other one is still trying.
It's the options.
It's game. Options. It's exactly
the options game has just killed everything, because rather than stand in and fight and work on something and make it happen, people go, well, there's always another
grass.
One. Yeah. I can go
there's
somewhere
always
else
someone
and get
on the
this
app,
better.
or there's always someone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's where it's become real. I feel like number 4 has become, like you said, super prevalent in the world.
Yeah.
So jump to number 5, which kind of transitions into from the 4 of like those kind of women, is like in the midst of all of this, you will start to meet women who kind of wake you up, shake you from your detrimental
bad habits,
hurting people kind of thing. And this is like, to me, this is one of those that like you hope you find this earlier than later, and sometimes it takes like 3 or 4 tries for sure. But it's the theory that like if you woke up today and met the woman of your dreams, is she meeting hers? Is she meeting the man of her dreams?
I mean, timing is important. I've realized that.
But if you as a person, are you comfortable with walking in and going, I know that I'm good enough with where I am as building myself, that I would feel comfortable to say that like this works.
Are you asking, am I in that position right now? Like, am I ready to step into a serious relationship?
I think you have to ask yourself that in the mirror every day.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think that's the trick with men is like, one day we're great. The next day you'll get up and you'll go, there's a deep flaw there. There's a deep missing thing.
Yeah, you might be right.
Yeah, it hurts. It hurts because like
I want to say yes, that I'm old. Like my end goal is to get married and to settle down with someone. But then there are some days where I'm just like, if I did meet her today, would I know it? Because maybe I'm not in the mood.
Maybe I'm not. Maybe I don't feel right about myself. Maybe I look at her and think she's better than me because I've put myself into a position where I'm not the best version of me. Maybe, and I'll, the way you say it, like you know that you want to one day get married and like have kids and do that. I don't know what I want. Like I literally don't. Like I always get asked this all the time by everybody. It's like, well, what's your end game? I don't have one, because the biggest thing that I don't want is to I don't want to just settle down because we made that marking. Mm-hmm. I want to escape the rest of the world with this one person everywhere. I want it to be my best friend. I want it to be the person I love so deeply that like every day I wake up, I'm just happy that I got to breathe again to see her. And in that way, like I don't think that's we got it. You know, we found each other. We finally made it. It's a constant work battle. It's a constant level of work. And with the women, like number 5, like the first kind of building blocks of that is realizing that maybe you're not who you should be to be ready for them. So you have to take a hard look in the mirror and start to wake up and go like, what am I doing wrong and how do I start fixing me?
So woman number 5, and we should give them names instead of numbers.
I got names okay, for them. I'm not calling them out.
Oh, well, you actually have actual names.
So if I ever wrote this book,
but we should if
I ever wrote this book, it would literally, the names of each chapter would be the women women that I can spell out in my life that got there. But
we should name them like, you know, the charming woman or the classy woman, you know, just a general name, so I don't have to say woman number 5.
It sounds so bad, but yeah, like type 5, I guess is like
type 5. There we go, type 5.
Yeah, type 5. It's the women that make you realize you got to fix yourself first.
So they're mature, they're ready, they come into your life, but then you realize that you are not ready to take on a woman like that, like a woman who's so confident in herself and or ready.
Yeah, I mean, in most cases, yes. It's just about like, if they showed up, did you prepare the road? You know, like did you prepare a road that you can both walk down comfortably? And the chances are like you got a lot of shit to clean up in the road before you get there. And so like it really is, type 5s are the ones that wake you up to the realization that like you're leaving a lot of burning bridges behind you. And you're doing a lot of things right now that are going to haunt you later. And either you start to figure that out now and try to not be that person, you're going to slip, you're going to fall, you're going to not do well at that. But you got to try and figure it out every day. And in the hopes that when the opportunity comes and the timing's right, that person shows up and you're able to say, I'm who I'm supposed to be here right now with you. And that's so tough. Like that's a day in and day out question you got to ask yourself.
Yeah, like I said, I always think I am ready. Like I think I'm ready financially. I'm ready age-wise. You know, I'm 35. I'm mature. I've made all mistakes. I've made a lot of mistakes. That doesn't mean I'm going to make more. But am I emotionally ready? I don't know. I had the podcast I did with Catherine, where we talked about attachment styles. Evidently, I'm an avoidant, and I would have to agree. So, like, if things... Like, I'm willing to pursue things, but I've noticed in my relationships, like, I might start picking out things that aren't perfect and being like, can I handle this for the rest of my life?
Yeah. I mean, they're humans.
And maybe sometimes I get a little too, like, it's too much, I can't handle it. But then when I look back in life, I realize, like, I think you were just not mature enough at the time to handle it. So, you know?
And that's the thing is, like, now, put the shoes in the other foot with this. Like, she sees something that she's not crazy about in you. Don't you want her mature enough to be able to walk up and talk about it? Be there 100%. In it with you? Like, say, hey, I'm raising my hand here. This is not okay. If you're not able to do that for her, how can you ask that of her?
Exactly.
That's the fight. That's the fight of type 5s. It's like, now you got to go down that road and start sweeping up your side. And ultimately, like, that leads, we all hope, and I think it does for everybody, it does lead to a 6. Type 6 is very similar to type 3 in the way that you fall in love with this person. You want to do everything for this person. You want to work with them. You want to grow with them. That is the ideal wife type.
Okay.
But the difference in what makes them so special compared to all the others is they are willing to pick up, you know, their side of the street to make that road good with each other. They're willing to be a part of this thing with you. Even if you're not fully ready, they're going to help you get ready, just like you're going to help them get ready. And you mutually become something special together.
So you love each other enough that both of you are willing to help each other clean up their room.
Yeah. And that's the big thing is
become a better person.
And you want to do it every day. You want to love that person every day. You want to care about that person every day. And you wake up and you go through the day and you see these special moments that, like, it could be small things. Like it's such a weird one, but like I make my bed every day. Every day.
I do too, actually.
It's a I can't leave the room unless it's made. And I've said that to girls I've dated. I've said, look, that's my thing. And I've watched carefully, like, some of them will, when they get up, I'll go to work, I'll come back, you know, bed's made. They hear me. They understand the things that small ticks that make us feel special. When you find the type 6, like, that's what they're going to do. They're going to find the small things that matter to you, just like you continually should be finding the small things that make them. It's not flowers every day. It's not, you know, big elaborate dates and vacations and trips. It's taking out the trash. It's cleaning the dishes. It's, you know, it's turning off the TV and coming to bed when it's time. Like,
and the things that the small things she asks you to do, like, this might sound weird, but I don't know. Fold the laundry a certain way. Like, 100%. I like them this way.
100%.
But then you do it like that for her.
Yeah, like, it doesn't matter to you.
Yeah.
And it could be like the least 5-second inconvenience. But, like, we both know that if one girl told me to do that, hell no. Like, and you fold it yourself. Whatever. Like, I don't care. A certain
type of woman.
Yeah. If a certain, like a go type do 4. It. Yeah, go do it. Like, you like that? Fold the clothes. But, like, then you meet this one and you're like, sure. I don't get it. Doesn't mean anything to me, but I'll do it because I want you to feel like you're important to me too. Like, you're in this 100%. And if there's something that makes you feel better, I'm going to do that.
I would say that's a man in love, but I would say that's not true. I think that's something that certain particular people, I'm not just going to say men, I'm going to say people, they have to have that little bit of nuance in them. Because a man can be in love, but also not do those small things, you know?
But it's for him, his small things.
You know,
like, it's the same road the other way. Like, yeah, you may not get everything. Like, it's not 100% here. Like, the road is. That's why it's, you know, that's why it's love. But at least work. The person is willing to work on it, even if they're not doing all the small things. Yeah, and being able to say, hey, you know, one of the hardest things is, like, you may do something in an effort to make them happy, not realizing that it's something that they don't know or value or care about, but being able to have that talk and say, hey, I was doing this because I wanted to make you feel, you know, like I was trying here. When you find that person that you can have those talks with, have the bad talks, have the good talks, have all those kind of talks. That's what you ideally are trying to reach. You're trying to reach that person that nobody's perfect and nobody's going to be 100% melded together. This is the yin and yang of each other. But you're going to create that yin and yang through, like, work, through effort, through trials, through struggles, through all of these parts that are the walking path of life. Like, life is not about, I've heard this the other day, and I keep thinking about this, is like, happiness is a milestone. Joy is the journey to them. Happiness will happen like that. It gets there, and scientifically 7 seconds of happiness and your brain will switch to the next milestone. It will start to look for the next thing. But if you can learn to find joy within the journey and the progress you make through that, then you start to find what real living is. And that's where, like, you go out and you want to sleep with that one girl. That's a milestone. And that's terrible to say, but it's a milestone. You get up and, you know.
I mean, I call it pleasure, which is temporary.
Yeah. But you get up every day and want to do things and grow with this person, sit on the couch with this person.
Yeah.
That's joy. That's the journey.
Yeah.
You got no destination except to just be in it as long as you can with each other.
Yeah.
That's type 6.
I've had those feelings where just sitting on the couch watching a movie or TV with them is better than going out and having, drinking with friends or something like that. Like, sitting on the couch becomes more enjoyable than socializing.
Sleeping becomes better.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people don't, I'm such a, again, I'm so wound up and so turned on all the time that when I sleep, I sleep.
Yeah.
But when I have someone there to like grab a hold of me, like just lay with me, even just during the daytime, like if I want to take a nap, you go do whatever you want, whatever. But like at the same time, like someone who appreciates that and wants to just be in that moment, small moment. You sleep different, you feel different. Like everything is more special than what it was prior.
So I think a good way to find a type 6, and this isn't anything new, but I probably do this to a fault, is I communicate my feelings pretty openly and upfront, and sometimes I could scare people away, but I've always told people, like, do it anyway, because then you find out if they can do it back.
You're talking to the king of just saying whatever the
what
hell is on my mind. And it gets me in more trouble than you can imagine. But like,
exactly. But you need to do it
in a heartbeat.
Yeah, you need to do it.
Because here's the thing: I'm not here to waste my time or your time anymore. Like, if we can find out in the first like 7 minutes that this isn't good, just in the way we talk to each other, well, I just saved 2 weeks of time.
Yeah.
The hard part is when that all comes together and everything's good and everything is right and all of it is just, and then the timing misses. And that's where type 6 is really tough, because like, I think, the universe, the world, higher powers, whatever it is for you, it's going to shed the light when it's supposed to. It's going to provide that person and that timing at the right moment when it's supposed to. And that may not be now. That may be 20 years down the road. And that may suck to feel like we got to do another 20 years.
20 years, dude.
But do you want to settle and have 40 years of mediocrity? Or do you want 20 years of the best living you ever did because you kept it in you to do that, to be ready?
I know 100% I can't settle.
I couldn't. I can't
do that. That will just I'll be miserable and she'll be miserable.
I'm from a small town where everybody either marries each other or goes to the next town over and marries each other. And I'm just like, and I refuse to go back. I hate going back. But every time I go back, it's like, oh, so-and-so's got a kid. Oh, so-and-so's, is so-and-so happy? Is so-and-so happy with their life right now? Like, it's good that that's what they wanted. But again, like, was it a milestone that they had because they wanted kids, because they wanted to share themselves and create a little someone together? Or was it because that was the expectation of life?
Do you think people can grow to love each other even if they didn't I don't want to say didn't love each other, but maybe didn't love each other as much in the beginning? Maybe because it was convenient, they stayed together. If
you can grow to hate each other, you can grow to love each other.
Yeah.
That's the world. Opinions, feelings, emotions, they all change throughout time. Like, given enough time, everything will wear away. Friendships, relationships, marriages, loves, everything. But it's the same the other way too. It
seems harder the other way, though.
It's harder both ways.
Keep that bond between anyone, between old friends.
It all comes down to effort.
Yeah.
It all comes down to the effort you're willing to put into it. But
that effort needs to be reciprocated in order for you to
100%
to put it in.
And that's what the weird thing is like, it's effort and confidence. And confidence is probably doesn't sound like the right word, but speaking on a different relationship, like a friendship relationship, like Mike and myself, we didn't talk for a year and a half. Like, not one word.
Was this after the little...
No.
Okay.
No, it was literally like we were in our own worlds. Mm-hmm. So, like, we were as close as it comes. I was up in Nashville. I was hanging out with him. I've helped move him into his place. And then he got an amazing opportunity to basically go across the world and shadow a monk for like a year.
A monk?
Yeah. He shadowed a monk. He was the assistant to a monk for like a year and a half or something.
Yeah.
And he had no phone, really. Like, it was a very
like big, in the mountains.
He was climbing mountains. He was traveling the world. He was everywhere, dog. Like, his stories are just unparalleled.
I know to most people this is gonna sound crazy that someone would do that. Dude, sometimes I think like if I could just like take a year and do something like that, I think I would. But like coming back, having my job, you know.
I don't want to. I want to come back to the seventh woman at the end. I don't want to forget that point. Yeah. But I know this is jump, but I did that too. Like, that was how it happened.
You did like monk life?
No, 2 years I left and went to Asia, and I was completely on my own. Like, no friends, no family, just completely picked up, moved, left.
Which part of Asia?
Hong Kong for 9 months, and then Tokyo for a year and a half.
Okay.
And here was the crazy thing of how, like, me and Mike didn't talk, was like he was out there, came back within like 2 months, 3 months of him being back. I left, and I went to Hong Kong, and it was just completely a different world, a whole different setting, whole different venue. We didn't talk almost at all while I was in Hong Kong. For 9 months, like, easily. I would dare to say he could correct me, but I don't think we talked at all. I was in a whole different, like, mindset. And then when I went to Japan and started living in Tokyo, it was about halfway through. It was about halfway. It was like the first, I got there in February. COVID hit in March. And then I think it was like October, November. I think it may have been October. I lost my damn mind. I was in a country with 5 people that could speak English with me. Only 2 of them I was okay with. The other 2 were just awful. They were. It was 5 of us, literally. And 2 of them were married and just terrible. And the lady was nice. The other one was a trash.
California were these kid. People that like lived in your...
We all worked together.
Yeah,
we all worked in the same factory. And
are these American people or are these Asian people or Japanese people?
One was a Japanese guy, but he was born American.
Okay.
So he was totally fluent. He was our director. Australian guy who was the manager.
Yeah.
California guy was married to a fully Japanese woman.
Okay.
They met in California, not even in Japan. And that was the one that was just like, he was a nut job, totally. Yeah. And then there was me there. And so, like, we would literally go from our building, drive to work in a minivan, do our work, come back, and then I'd walk 20 minutes to the train station, go one town over, go to the gym, come back, and that was it for most every day.
This is what you did during all that COVID time?
Oh my God, yeah. And it was great. I lost tons of weight. I really got into working out. Everything was really there for me, except mentally I was breaking.
Yeah.
Like, it's maybe not the best thing and all to like describe, but like I got to that low point of where I started thinking some really, really bad thoughts. Some really tough things like kept coming through my head. And 2 people saved me off that. Was my mom on a random phone call, literally at the moment she had to call, she called. And it was like 1 p.m. my time, which is like 1 a.m. over here. She just like woke up in the middle of the night and was like, hey, I don't know what's going on. We haven't talked in forever. We haven't done it. But I just want you to know I love you. I care about you. If you ever need anything, like I miss you. And it was just like...
It's like exactly what you needed to hear.
Brought me off the ledge for a moment, yeah. And then it was Mike. And like I said, we hadn't talked in a year and a half. And this is where the confidence thing comes back. Like the whole thing about like timing and confidence. he called me, or I called him. I don't remember how we contacted each other, but it just happened. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't sleep until like 4 a.m., like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. most nights.
But he's a night owl?
Yeah, big time. And we just started talking. Mm. And I would just put my AirPods on, and we would talk for hours. Yeah. And it was like we picked up, like we had never left talking. Like we had never stopped. Like we were both going through very similar things, very tough moments, very isolated moments.
Is this when he was doing monk life?
No, he was back. He was back here. And
that's right. He came back and then you left.
He was in a 2-bedroom apartment with his girlfriend at the time and his roommate's girlfriend at the time. So it was 4 people living in this thing together in the middle of COVID, trapped. And it was so bad. Like the mental things that were going on for me and him both, it was so like on the same wavelength. We started just talking about stuff. Mm. And then we got to a point where like every Wednesday, through like some means of COVID and stuff, I got to take every Wednesday off. Okay. So my entire plan every Wednesday was wake up, go to the gym, have breakfast right across the street, then go to the gym. Mm. And then I just had my backpack on and I would walk one direction. I don't care where it went. I'd never like looked at a map. I never did anything. I just started walking every Wednesday. And then I'd get on my AirPods at like 10 a.m. my time or 10 p.m. his time.
It's a 12-hour difference.
Yeah. Shit. And literally, we would just start talking. And I would walk until my legs were just completely tired. And then I'd find a bus station or I'd try and figure out where I was on a map and loop back to the house. Dog, I walked over 100 and something miles in Japan talking to this man. Wow. As if we were side by side on the street. Mm-hmm. And that's what I mean is like, that going back to the confidence thing, it's like having the confidence that that person's there to the end for you, regardless of anything. That's what makes relationships work. Friendships.
Even if you haven't talked for a year and a half.
Even if you're and going like to the relationships of like women, it's like these marriages come and go, in and out, ebb and flow of pure love and just kind of going through it. And the thing is like that's normal, like that's okay. It's when people start going, oh, we haven't connected in a while. Oh, she's distancing, or oh, he's this, and you don't have the confidence anymore to step up and say, hey, let's bring this back. Mm-hmm. Let's pick up the phone, metaphorically, like, yeah. And that's the hard part for me is like, I don't know that I can be in a relationship where
someone doesn't do that.
Yeah. Where they can't do that with me, because I need to know when I'm falling short too. And that's I think we all need that a little bit. Mm-hmm. And, if you're doing it right, they're not going to hate you for it. No, like just confidence in general though. Like you got to have that in the relationship and you got to be able to talk to that. Like if you can't talk that through, the confidence goes down. So it's tough in any relationship, friends, girls, anything.
So I do have a buddy like that I've known since 6th grade that actually we just started talking maybe 2 months ago. And we had not spoken in almost 2 years. But of course, it's like nothing ever changed. And I knew what it was. It was because he got a girlfriend. Every time he gets a girlfriend, he disappears.
It's like you need to recheck yourself like a little bit, yeah.
And then one of two things. Either they break up or he starts getting so comfortable and a little bit bored because all he does is hang out with his girlfriend that he finally wants. Yeah. He's finally comfortable enough to reach back out to friends again.
Like I was, so my 2 best friends are actually both named Mike. I'm not even kidding. As weird as this is, like both of them are named Mike. The one from college, so Mike Tran, I met him when, I met him through like in college and all this stuff, but we really became friends once I had moved to Orlando. Okay. And then the other one's name's Michael Ellaby, and we all just call him Ellaby. Okay. So, and Ellaby was my best friend through all of college, like unbreakable. We were everywhere. And he came into town, like literally, I haven't seen this guy in 2 years. And literally he came to town on Wednesday because he was just passing through. And he's like, hey, I'm staying for the night. Be able to do anything. We went to the gym, went and ate, hung out, talked, and it was like, again, picked up like nothing.
Like nothing.
And it's the pure confidence that like you already showed them who you are 100%, and they've chosen, to keep you in their life. And that when the opportunity arises, you don't have to put on airs, you don't have to do anything. Yeah. You just start again. And it's that confidence that like you've already, it's like walking into your own home after a long vacation. It's still your home, it's still there. And that's me with a lot of my friendships, just like that guy for you in the 6th grade is like same thing. But that's how it should be with relationships with women too. It's like, if you can't do that with, I don't want to say like stepping out of the relationship, but like, you're going to go through these ebb and flows of highs, lows, and then there's just ground, there's just neutral ground where you're just kind of going through days and days and days and stuff. And if you can't pick back up at some point and go, hey, let's keep this revitalized by being us, like, that's where it falls apart. Yeah. I feel like.
I mean, it's a little different with romantic relationships, but like you said, as long as you have the confidence that you both love each other and you want to like get through it, there are other tools. Like
100%.
I've become a big advocate for therapy. I think it's great.
See, I'm weird about therapy. Like I don't think I do well in it. I think my therapy is more just
talking with the person.
It's just people. Like again, I don't think I'll ever trust someone across a table who's getting paid to listen to me talk and giving me advice about it more than I'll ever trust calling Mike, calling my dad, talking to my best friends, going and drinking with a buddy and just sitting there and saying, hey, it's been it's been this kind of time.
So I think you're lucky in that regard to have friends and family that could understand you that way.
Mike's the only one.
Mike's the only one.
Like my parents, as much as like I love them, I'm not a good son in that aspect. And like
I wouldn't say that.
I'm not. Like I was the one that ran from the house and kind of chose not to come back. More because like, and they know this about me. It was more because like same reason I went to Hong Kong, same reason I went to Japan, same reason I do everything in my life is it's a best way that like I've heard it lately is like life is just the passage of time. Life is just like the passage of time, and the things you do in it make it a valuable life or not. And for me, I saw a lot of signs that said like if I stayed where I'm at, this is not going to be the life that I want in any regard. And my parents are the picture book perfect couple. Like they're retired. They wake up at 5 a.m. They go do all this stuff in the mornings and everything. They're in their hot tub by like 2 p.m.
That sounds so great.
My dad built a little shed with a TV in it so he can look at the thing out in the backyard. So they're in the hot tub by 2 p.m.
I actually can't wait for that kind of life.
and I'm looking forward to that too. Like they literally play backgammon and they're in bed by 5 watching some TV show together. And like that's the day. And it's great. Like that's what they want to do. But it's also like, I don't want to do that now.
Yeah, not
like
right now.
I don't want to do that now.
But when you're 60, it's.
But that's the whole thing of my town was that, and I told myself like, I got so lucky to see what true, real, everyday love is in a relationship with my parents, because they fought just like everybody else does. But golly, these two, when I say point blank. My dad would walk through a river of fire for my mom right now, and my mom would pick up and swim with him. Yeah. Like, no questions.
So maybe, do you think because your parents are like that, now you are seeking a relationship just like that? Because that's how you...
I'm not seeking anything. That's the real messed up part here is like...
I mean, you're at least seeking a partner, right? No?
No, like... I'm not gonna say no, but I'm not gonna say yes because like I don't know what I'm seeking. I'm seeking joy in my life. I'm seeking
whoever brings that,
whoever it is. Like Matthew McConaughey has this like talk where he talked about like how he was struggling because he didn't have a person in his life when he was younger, and he said, I had to come to the realization that like maybe that's not the cards for me in life. Maybe that's not what I get. Maybe I have to, go down the road without that. And when you do that and you accept that, you start to realize you're not alone. I mean, you're not lonely, you're alone. And you start to focus on all the other things in your life. And you make those things important. And then the other thing, like the other things that come, if they come, they will come when they're supposed to. And again, that's where the type 5s come in. It's like you start to recognize, like, if you want to be there, good. But like you have to let the world come to you a little bit, but you have to be getting ready for that.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think you can force anything. The best thing you can do, and this is what I try to do for myself, is just build myself up for it. So when it does come, I can be ready.
That's it. That's all
I can do. Like
if you can do that with joy in your heart, doing it through life, that's an accomplished life. So like when I look at my parents, it's an amazing thing, and I really hope that one day that I get there, but I'm not banking on it.
Yeah.
I'm not waking up looking for that every day. I'm not. If you said, hey, do you want a girlfriend in the world? I only want one if one fits.
Yeah.
In such a way that we both can be happy together going down the rest of the world.
Would you be okay being single for the rest of your life?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's terrifying and it's comforting at the same time. It is terrifying. But it's comforting.
It's comforting because I think once you can accept something like that, I think it makes you that much more ready to...
It makes it more valuable when you choose not to be.
When you choose not to be.
When you choose to be in a relationship, it makes it so much more valuable to you because you chose what you chose, because you wanted it, not out of fear that it may...
Of being alone.
Yeah. And I say, like, I'm so easily able to answer that because, like, I watch so many people around me that just want relation. They just want a guy. They just want a girl. They just want somebody. And it's like, look around you. You have so many people around you right now. You don't have to fight this. You don't have to you don't have to, go and, I hate the word settle, but like settle just because you think like that's something you can't live without. If you can't live without it, I'm sorry, you need to go check yourself personally and work on you being enough for you. Cause like that's where like I really think like you can be okay being single for the rest of your life if you can work on being happy with yourself.
Yeah.
And once you get there, that's when the world's going to present you with the right things.
And that's what I was trying to say. Like, if you can finally come to terms with being happy, being single the rest of your life, I think that's when you are most prepared to actually be in a relationship if it comes to you.
Exactly.
So.
And you get to make that choice then too. It doesn't feel like oh man, this is it.
Yeah.
It's, oh yeah, I want to. That thing is sweet.
Yeah, I know.
But no, and then I'll jump and I'll say like it comes down to the 7th one. And the seventh girl is terrifying to every man because at some point in your life you will hear the words, I'm pregnant, I'm late, something. If you haven't, good job. But most of us have heard that at some point. And your first instinct, I feel like my first instinct at least is like, I'm going to teach him how to throw a football. I'm going to figure out if he can shoot a basketball. I'm going to get him in sports. I'm going to make him the smartest like kid. Like he's going to be amazing. He's going to be all these things. And then there's a moment in your head where it switches and it goes, but it might be a girl.
Yeah.
And while that is an amazing, awesome, beautiful, wonderful thing to think like you're going to be a father to a daughter that is going to grow up to be something special. Unfortunately, this cycle works in reverse, and every person you have ever been to a woman, she will encounter a man just like that at some point in her life. And it comes down to the sister thing again. The type 2s is like, you learned how to protect someone and you failed. And in the back of your head, that'll live forever. That you couldn't save it, someone you cared about. And now you got this coming. How do you save it from the terrible parts of the world, from the guys who needed a type 4 for the night.
Yeah.
From the guys who were almost the right one but wasn't and broke that person, to the, you know, every terrible thing that you've ever done to a girl might get done to your daughter. And you have to
when you put it that way, it's kind of...
You have to live with that. You have to live with the fear that that's out there forever. And you cannot protect her from all of it, no matter how hard you try. And that, if that doesn't break you as a man, nothing will. Like, you have no soul, because like that literally is everything. Is a boy you raise to be strong and brutal and, you know, this thing that can take on the world. I feel like a girl you raise trying to protect her from all of these brutal parts of the world. And you are guaranteed to fail at that completely. You're going to succeed a little bit. You're going to, you know, make her strong and self-supportive and make those things go right. But you can't save her from all of it. And you'll see that as a hard reality.
And I think sometimes they kind of have to go through it. And the best thing you can do is probably just be there for them.
Carry the shotgun on the front porch.
Yeah, well, definitely that. Like, if she ever introduced me to one of these guys and then they did that, if you ever see them again.
Yeah.
But best thing you can do is be there for them when their heart's broken.
Yeah.
Tell them you love them. You know.
It's all you can do.
It's all you can do, man.
But tell me it doesn't scare the shit out of you just sitting here, like, thinking about think of the worst thing you ever did in your life to a girl. Yeah, exactly.
It's not.
Are you not scared shitless right now?
Yeah,
Like,
it's not the worst thing. It's just...
Oh, I've done some horrible things. Just like being a shitty person.
Yeah.
Like, I've done some shitty things to people. And I do have to look at it. It's one of those things about me where I look in the mirror quite often and go like, are you really becoming the better version of you? Yeah. If you're still doing things that it would kill you to have your daughter have to go through. Like, that's the big fear. But that's the 7 women. That is the complete 7 that will shape and create you as a man. And you will never be ready for all of them. No. And they will all show up at the best and worst times.
Yeah, it's... So do you find yourself that when you meet a girl, do you start running the types in your head to be like, I wonder what this could be?
No, not at all. Not at all? I don't. This is a weird... Maybe I'm just weird. Like, I really do. I think I'm just a strange person in this, but I don't walk into any room with an expectation, except work. Yeah. I walk into work with the expectations that we're going to make things happen and succeed and build and do. But, like, in life, I don't walk into anything with an expectation of good or bad. I just move.
What if it's someone that you actually start having a relationship with at the beginning stages, you know? Let's say you meet them, you guys are kind of feeling each other.
I'm excitable. I will say that. Like, the ADHD is a real thing.
Yeah. So do you go in like full force?
I go in with a lot of care and a lot of love, very early and very hard, and it's very like adolescent, like, almost for me, because I'll say like at least half of my relationships have been long distance. Oh. Yeah, I've been some form of long distance.
I've done it once. It's rough.
It kills you. It kills you. And but in that measure is like when I have had like those relationships that were up in front of me, I've either like wanted to be around them all the time, every single second of the day. I'm willing to, you know, cut work a little bit to come to you, like all these things. And then, or it's you're here. And that's how I know. That's how I know, like, it's definitely not a good position. Because if I don't have that early on, like you said, it's really tough to grow it as you go. So, and what I call my pre-Asia days, like, a lot of the girls that were around Orlando, it was like, there was one that I know I messed it up with. And she was such a nice girl. She was such a sweet person. And I just couldn't ever look at her and be like, yeah, I really want something here. And I look back on that a lot of times and I go like, thank God that I didn't, because I think it was good for both of us. Neither one of us were ready or okay with the people we were internally. But I do also look at it and go like, you should have done better.
Yeah. I've had a relationship where I dragged it along longer than it should have. Feelings kind of drifted away. Yeah. And then
you're left with, can they break up with you just to get it done?
I did think that in my head, but more I was just like, when am I going to do this? And I didn't have the guts, because breaking someone's heart is actually, it sometimes hurts more than getting your heart broken. Like, I'd rather get my heart broken because I feel like I can handle it. But knowing that I did that to someone else,
I would rather, and this is the word, I think one of the like worst things to do in a relationship, but I would rather find a way to get you to break up with me, because I want you to feel like you won.
You made the decision.
Like you won. Not even made the decision, but like that, like you were wanting to make your life better by getting me out of it. Because I already know. I'm sitting here already knowing like I don't want this. Yeah. But like you said, like the guts part of it, like I would rather you, as terrible as this is, like I figured out that if you walk away and make that choice, the chapter is going to be 100% closed and I can move on quicker. Yeah. Whereas like if I do it, then I'm going to be sitting there like, I should have not done that. I may have been rushing into things, like ending that.
Well, I definitely didn't rush into, and I didn't end it fast enough. This was only for this one particular, you know, there's been other situations where I have messed up. Yeah. Where I think like this person was good for me. And for some reason, maybe because of options, I didn't stay. And you look back and you're like, missed opportunity.
Every one of them so far, I've been okay with them gone. Because again, like, what do I want out of like life? I just want to live. And I want to feel like every day was a success in living. And if I don't think that I can feel that way with you, I'm really hopeful that you will find someone else to do that with. Yeah. But at the same time, like, I'm looking forward, I guess. Just not aggressively, not actively, just when it shows up, it shows up.
When it shows up, it shows up. Yeah. And that's what I mean by like the best you can do is work on yourself. Yeah. Be the best version of yourself that you can be. And then when someone shows up, hopefully they're on your same level.
And the best thing you can do in the meantime when you're working on yourself is building the other friendships, the other relationships, the other parts of your life. Because again, like you say, like that you're an advocate of therapy. I'm an advocate of building your circle enough that it is one big therapy. You know, I go to the gym, talk to people, and that's therapy to me. Yeah. You know, I go to the bar and I catch up with the friends. That's therapy to me. I move through life thinking continuously, you know, letting it all sit inside. And then when I have like enough thoughts that I want to share it or trying to figure things out, I'll call my best friend. I'll say, hey, got some shit on my mind.
Yeah. Well, I agree with you. The gym is definitely therapy for me. Yeah. Subu, for sure, 100%. That's more for stress-related therapy. Yeah. Keeps my stress levels. Maybe not so much for romantic, but...
Definitely not romantic for me. It's legitimately more like the gym is a place where you, especially Subu, is like, it's really good about being able to talk. Like everybody in there talks to each other.
Oh, yeah. So
that part helps.
It's a community. Yeah. Where you can sit there and... So, what was I going to say? Oh, but when it comes to therapy, the reason why I think therapy is a good idea for some people is because actually, I know you got to pay them to do this, which is fine. I don't think it makes them care any less because they're just getting paid. But you literally have a third party person who knows nothing about you or your situation, and they can be as objective and give you objective advice as possible. Because usually when you get into it with family or friends, they're more going to have your back and probably say things to make you feel better. Whereas I feel like a therapist might get you to maybe not there just to make you feel better. I mean, they probably do that too, but also just to get your thinking different.
Bro, and I'm really lucky then. I will say that because that is my best friend. Like he is.
Mike isn't just there to make you feel better.
Whoa, no. He is.
He gives you hard truths.
Yeah. We give each other hard truths. Like that's one of the best things about I know my circle is like my circle because like I, again, am an asshole. A very, very real one. And the fact that like, I don't sugarcoat it. I don't blanket statement it. I don't try to make you feel better. I tell you, if it's going to make you cry, it's going to make you cry. Sorry. Like, but this is what's going on. This is where you're right. This is where you're wrong. And I look to my friends to do the exact same thing to me. And Mike has people say like I'm really good with words. Like I can talk. Mike has this feeling that like he has to be very responsive with his words, very particular, but with me, he's not. He will talk to me all the way through. Like he doesn't, we've built such a very real comfort with each other that he can just lay it out there to me. And when he does, I'll take it back and I'll absorb it and we'll come back to this conversation and it'll be, yeah, you're right. Like I think I'm really, really rational too, like almost to the point where it hurts certain parts of my life for sure.
I probably got an issue with that too.
Yeah. Like
I'm a little too
like I take emotion. Like it's funny whenever a girl has ever said like I'm emotional and it's like I'm emotional because it's still rational to be emotional. Like I'm at a rational phase where we've gotten to this where I'm just there.
You understand your emotions rationally.
Yes. Like I'm very in tune there. And so same with Mike is like, I'm rational enough to take what he's saying and hear it, absorb it. And I may not agree with it, but at least it's real. So that part I'm super lucky, I think, because like I do have a therapist and as a best friend in a way. Like I literally do. He is super objective. He is super big picture. And then
that's cool.
Yeah, and it allows me to do. I guess that's another thing of why I'm not super like sure what I'm looking for in the world is because like if I need something, I have it here already. Like I have, I won't call it a network, but I have this grounding, this base, the roots of like me as a tree, like of life going through things. I've got such a good root system that I don't have to look very far to get what I need back to get better in a way. I still do things that don't get me better.
Yeah.
But
you have Mike and you have people that you can seek out for, for counsel or just saying things that are on your mind.
Yeah. I mean, 100%. And
that's funny because my friends, the ones that I do, we can talk seriously. But what I like about it is we'll always turn it into a joke.
Yeah, and that's good.
So like we turn our pain into jokes, and it actually makes us feel better. Does it resolve what's there? Maybe not.
But that's your version. That's good.
Yeah, like, it gets us feeling better. But this is why I would probably want to. I've actually been thinking about doing therapy myself. I'm not sure if I feel like I need it at the moment, but I think it's a good thing to do anyway. And I want to try and test it out just to see if it can work for me.
I'll never tell someone not to do it. I look at it very, like pretty openly. Like I look at it kind of, I don't know the right word.
Objectively? Well,
not
objectively.
Just not like, it's not my thing.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Like
that's okay.
Yeah, I'm not bad. But I'll say I've been through different types of therapy with Mike that like have I definitely think are out there, and in that way, like I said, I've gone to that really, really dark point where like I was not okay with life altogether, and now it's like every day is kind of nice because I just get up and I breathe. I know what that felt like, and I know what real, true, perfect happiness kind of feels like, and I'm okay with being in the middle, growing both to get away from one and going to another.
Do you feel like do you feel like happiness comes from within? Like you can make yourself happy, you don't need external things to make you happy?
Is running a sport?
I would say so.
Okay. If I add a basketball to it, is it a more entertaining sport?
I would say so.
That's the way I kind of look at it. It's like you got to be happy with yourself, and that's the running part. You're out there alone. You're on your own. You got to make it count. You got to make it valuable. You got to make it worth it.
So you're saying you can make yourself happy.
Yeah. But when you add a basketball to it, it's a whole different sport, and it's a whole different game, and it's a better game to play. And you can add people to it, and you can add things to it, and that's where it's all fine and dandy, and it's great.
So you're saying adding external people
only make it better.
Will only make it better.
Yeah, and that's the big thing is like, for me, it's like you got to be willing to enjoy the running first. Yeah. Again, that's the journey versus the milestone.
I'll agree, but I think sometimes people have friendships and have all these things, and somehow they're still not completely happy
because they don't enjoy running, because they haven't endured and been okay with the fact that they just need to be okay running.
So that's where I say I've actually read this book right here. Awesome book, and it's actually half of this book is on happiness.
Dominic Naval what?
Naval Ravikant. And this basically gets a lot of his stuff from Buddhism, but they basically say happiness is purely from inside. Once you're able to figure that out and how to make yourself happy from inside, external things no longer affect you as bad.
I think they definitely can be absolutely like detrimental if you let them. Yeah. But that's completely based on, again, what you've done for yourself to get there. If you're out there trying to create happiness in ways that we all know are shortcuts, short ways of getting there.
And that's what he would call pleasure. Yeah. Pleasure is the small things like drugs, drinking, hooking up.
Yeah. Great things.
Gambling.
Great things. Great things. But they don't last.
They don't last.
And that's the thing is like if you don't have the other foundational parts of yourself already set up to be okay, when you get to those, it may start off good. It will forever end in a downward. Yeah. But if you're happy with who you are, if you're okay with what you're doing, if you're happy with the progress you're continually trying to make, then these other things become I'll say like additives instead of detriments. Like, not that anyone has ever done it, but like if you were to go to a concert and you were to take drugs and you're sad, scientifically you're more likely to not have a good time and to spiral than if you go happy and do it, because it's just feeding off of the emotions and the endorphins that your body's building. So you've got to lay the foundation of yourself. You've got to run and enjoy the running before you start throwing in, the basketball, the jerseys, the players, the coaches, the all these extra things that make it better. So, and that's the same with the women in your life. Like full circle here, like that's the same as like if you're just adding them to add them because you've got nothing better to do and that's what you think, then you're definitely hitting type 4s right now. Like you're in the type 4s, you're just existing. But if you're not trying to work on yourself a little bit and get yourself right, if you're going and actively doing that, even if you fall back into the type 4s, even if you do that, at least you're moving towards a better potential of through type 5 that you're getting to type 6.
Yeah.
You know, that's where you become a man.
Yeah. And I'll agree that, like, if you're waiting on a girl or someone else to make you happy, like, I'll be happy once I get the girlfriend or the boyfriend.
Happiness is a milestone.
Yeah. It's not gonna.
Happiness is a milestone, and milestones only exist as checkpoints in your life. And if that is what you're dedicating your life to, and not the joy of the journey, you're doing it wrong. You're fundamentally always going to be let down.
Yep, exactly, 100%. Always going to be let down.
And that's my favorite part, I guess, of life right now. Is like the goal isn't to get to the milestone; it's to just enjoy every part of the path that I'm on. And when I don't, it's where I step back and I go, okay, what happened there? How do I get it better? And how do I get me better?
Yeah.
And I promise you, I am not doing that perfectly, but
you're working on it.
Yeah. And for everybody I've hurt on the way, I'm so sorry. Like I'm work in progress. But yeah, no, it's forever a thing that, like, the best way to enjoy every part of life is to open yourself up to being open to it.
Yeah.
You know, like, if you just walk into it and go, oh, well, I'm here. You know, it's like going on a vacation. If you're focused on getting to the airport and then getting to your thing and then going to the event, and you're not going to enjoy the waves. You're not going to enjoy the sun. You're not going to enjoy these parts that just, there's no end to them. There's no like anything to them, and they're going to continually cycle.
Yeah.
But you being in them is the important part.
Yeah. This goes to a lot of, spirituality things, where being in the present moment, like ways of being mad is being in the present moment. That's what he said. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy what's happening right now with you. And then eventually, once you are happy with yourself, you're much more likely to only be enforced by another person. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, your happiness can only grow from there.
Yeah.
But you can't expect it to come from them.
Look, you were born into this world just you. And all you can do is just work on that.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you work on that actively every day, trying, I don't care where you end up, you're going to end up with a better life than you probably would if you didn't.
Yeah, of course.
So
I would agree.
I think life is a passage of time, and your job is to just figure out how to enjoy it.
Enjoy that passage of time. Yeah, because it's the
with
only
yourself,
one you got.
With yourself. Because when those people come into your life that one day will, if you've done the right things and you're doing the right things to make yourself there, whether it's friendships, relationships, whatever, they're only going to be better because you brought the value of you and the best version of you to them. So
you did the work already to make yourself as best as you can be. Yeah.
And, good people find good people. That's always the case. Bad people don't find good people,
I mean, they can, but they don't stay around.
Yeah, they can. They just don't. You're right. I said that wrong. They do find you. They just don't stay with you.
They don't stay around.
Yeah. So,
all right. Well, Tyler, thanks for coming on.
I love this.
A lot of wise words, man.
I was nervous, man, but this has been great.
No, it was
honestly.
good. It was a great conversation, man.
I appreciate it.
I expect a draft of that book in a year or so.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
I was gonna sit in the tank for a little while longer, I think.
I guarantee you, one of these days, you'll probably get the urge and the feeling to be like, yeah, maybe let's actually try it. That would be awesome.
I'm gonna have to, if I do it, I'm gonna have to talk it. I'm gonna have to somehow talk it, and then have like a ghostwriter or something. Because my
there's
ADHD,
AI shit now that you can just speak in probably to a microphone like this, and that thing will just
it'll run all.
And then you just say, okay, proofread this and correct all grammar, and
that's probably what it's gonna end up being. Take out all the shit bombs, please.
Right? Yeah. control search all curse words and smooth it out.
Let's keep ass. The asshole part's probably it's a necessary part of me, so I have to keep it in there for sure. But no, this has been awesome, man. I appreciate it.
Well, thanks for
I'm
coming
glad
on,
you
man.
invited me, man.
Yeah, thanks.
Awesome.